Well, good morning, church. How are we? Today we're talking about Jesus, all that. So I'm going to talk about Jesus changing lives. He does change lives. So come on. First of all, I want to go to the importance of Scripture. I want to look at a few verses that stand out for me and how I can apply that to my practical lives. But I start off with Romans 8:28, which is kind of paraphrasing, in all things, God works for the good. So no matter how you are, God works for the good in that. So I think about the chaos and the busyness of life and how it can cloud us, distract us, and kind of just lead us into different places. But I think that the hard things and everything can be used for good. And I love a God who can do that, because he doesn't put us there, but he can take us there. So, and I think that's given me the growth in the spirit and the new perspective. So I really love that. Sharing a little story of my life. Sorry, it's in my face. I think about people in certain situations that I've been placed in. So I think about one person in particular who gave me a book, and that's actually changed my spiritual journey, and it actually made me go deeper in that. And if without that person who's not here anymore, but who's not here in my life anymore, I wouldn't be where I am now. I also think about my family dynamics and how that's a bit different, but without that, I don't think I'd be the person who I am today. And it's the hard stuff that can lead us to the good. So I love that. I also think about another scripture, 2 Corinthians 3:18, which is through the Spirit, we are transformed in his image. And I love that because through the Spirit, we're guided, we're prompted, we're loved, and we're changed. So I think I've really found a recent new perspective of the Spirit as I've been journeying. And that's kind of come through books for me. But I can think of a time at Equip camp with all the youth. The words of knowledge came to me as a spiritual gift. And I think that was awesome because I never thought about it before, but the Spirit gave me that for this time. I got promptings and insights into situations. And by the sharing of that helped me understand and help them understand where they were in their faith. And my prayer life changed from that, and that's how he transforms me. So my word is how Jesus transforms lives.
I would like to talk about a word about Jesus. My word is love. Jesus includes everyone in his love and never misses someone out. The story that reminds me of this is when Jesus had so much love, he sacrificed himself for us. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jisoo. I'd like to share one of my secrets today. Just wondering, what are you most afraid now? Don't share it, just in your head. I'll share one of my secrets. My big fear was this. The reason, actually, I'm not afraid of the car. I was afraid of driving. Being not so big, I could go anywhere. I can park myself anywhere. But this thing is so big, I find it very hard to find the space and take myself out. That was one of the things. But the other thing is, I made some few mistakes. Something like this happened. Me in the car, and another car. Me in the car. Last time, me in the car. Stop, and he avoided me. And that was probably 10 years ago. And I told myself, and I told my husband, this is it. I am never going to drive. I'm going to ride a push bike rest of my life. Period. That was it. And I got to move to a country in Queensland where I was able to drive. There was only like 4 traffic lights in the whole town. It was okay. And just one lane. I don't have to overtake and just keep my pace. People will avoid me. That was all good. Until I moved back to Sydney. And this time, I had to drive up to 4 to 5 hours a day on a highway. No way, God, you can't do this to me. Oh, I grit my teeth. Yes, I'll drive. And number one reason, I couldn't trust myself whether I'll actually respond well on the road. Number two, I couldn't trust other drivers. Would they behave well? I had to. Day after day, day 1, day 2, day 3. But each day, the day I had to drive, I got really sick. Really, really sick. And then when I had to drive, I had to drive. I drove, I came home exhausted. It went on for 2 weeks. And I had enough. God, I can't do this. I can't do this for a long time. You're gonna dry me up. I'm gonna be dried up. I just can't do this anymore. But before I came back to Sydney, I asked a couple of my friends in Queensland, I'm asking you an impossible prayer. Can you pray that I find freedom in driving? I actually get to enjoy driving. Even though I said this, that's not possible. It's me. I know me. It's not gonna happen. Anyway, after 2 weeks of being sick in the morning and then exhausted at nighttime, maybe I should give up. Maybe I should tell them that I just can't do this. I have to find other things that I can do better. But that morning, strange morning happened. In the morning, I was doing my scripture reading the Bible, and all of a sudden a thought came into my mind saying, I want to spend time with you alone in the car. Hang on. The God of the universe, who made this whole universe and everyone, everything in it, he wants to spend time with me alone in the car? That's strange. Okay, if that's what you want, I think I can give it a go. But I still needed something. This is me in the car. Which side? Number one, I get this racing gloves. I get the most comfortable shoes. Deep breath. I borrowed him from Mira's bedroom. You say you want to be with me? Let's go. And another word, something strange word came to me. When I said let's go, a word came to me saying, I never left. That changed me. From that moment, he never left me. Even though let's go, I was bringing him, and he said, I never left you. From then on, it's been 2-3 months. When I'm driving, I see other cars, time cars, and I say a blessing to them. I see a rude car, and I say, oh, let them know you better today. Other cars with a car accident, and I pray for the ambulance, everyone that use this for them to know you today. So that's what happened to me. My word today for Jesus, he is my very good friend who never leaves me.
Good morning. Oh, very loud. So my word this morning was Jesus is the vine or the vine dresser. So I'll read the passage in John chapter 15 for you. And it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. Every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. So, after growing up and, going into my own place, I came to enjoy working in the yard. But as some of you know, can be incredibly difficult. And it was not too long ago that my father and I went to Bunnings with my father-in-law, and we were looking for more plants to put out in his backyard. And I pointed at some bamboo. I was like, "What about this?" And he said, "No, never put bamboo in your yard unless it's in a pot." So then he proceeds to tell me a story about how he had bamboo by the back fence, and he was redoing that fence. And The fence started to move mysteriously because the bamboo is next to it. And so for weeks, he had tried to get rid of this bamboo. He had dug a couple feet down. He had gotten pickaxes, shovels, and he had tried to poison it. Every way that he could possibly end the bamboo's life, he had tried, until finally he needed to pull out a jackhammer, and he was going hard on it. And that was the only way, because apparently it was like concrete down there. But I chose this word because I think of those type of things. Working in the yard kind of reminds me of these passages. You know, the Bible has a lot of those gardening, planting, agricultural type verses. And I think oftentimes we are like that bamboo. We don't allow God to do what he needs to do, to prune, to pull things back, to point things out. We are stubborn and refuse to be changed. But I've just, in reading this passage, think that the key to the Christian life is allowing ourselves to be changed, to be transformed by the Lord, and to allow the vine dresser to kind of come in and make those changes and point out the things that we need done in our lives. And so this verse has just been very special in my life because it requires, the Christian life requires surrendering to the vine dresser, surrendering to, you know, the main root of the vine, and allowing ourselves to be transformed to look more like him. So there's a song that came out, I think about a year and a half ago. It's called Tend by Bethel Music. It's one of my favorite songs because it's like this whole chapter in song form. So if you look at my Bible, pretty much every verse in that chapter is highlighted because the whole thing is just, it's my favorite chapter in the whole Bible. But I'll read you the first verse in the chorus. It says, "In the landscape of my life, you don't rush through any season. You always take your time. A careful hand, a gentle guide. You take what's dead away and you prune what's running wild. So be the gardener of my heart. Tend the soil of my soul. Break up the fallow ground. Cut back the overgrown. And I won't shy away. I will let the branches fall so that what you want can stay and what you love can grow." So that's why I've chosen the vine, or the vine dresser, as my word today, because, you know, us being the vine, we need to be surrendered and allow the Lord to make those changes in our lives. Thanks.